with a presentation from our federate partner from Colombia. He is also a PhD in Valencia University. So, hi Kevin, we are going to broadcast your presentation.
Culture for the Americas and the National Committee of Colombia. This intervention is carried out by the pedagogical program, the Universitat Politècnica de Valencia, the International Research Center SMP de Arquitectura, and the Architecture Office Tejido Diagonal. As you can see, it is an international team that since 2020 has been developing an interdisciplinary work playing in favor of children and young people to create a sustainable society with strong cultural roots in its community and local heritage. The case that I will present on this occasion with you is the process and result developed for participatory design, where taking into account the perspective of the children and young people of the city of Soacha in Colombia, we were able to generate a series of interventions for this community and improve spaces for the territory. So we can see Colombia on the map and its capital Bogotá. At the southwestern of the end of the city, it is Soacha, a city with a strong relationship with our pre-Hispanic past, especially with the Muisca community that inhabitates this region. Currently, Soacha is one of the largest municipalities in Colombia, which has an interesting cultural encounter created by people who go there from different cities and regions of Colombia and Venezuela. Some parts of Soacha were founded and built in the 80s. A self-construction neighborhood were created with informal architecture. Therefore, we see an irregular architecture which challenges a complex topography with adaptate the needs of the people who live in this context. And it is precisely the heritage and cultural value of this population diversity that gives a meaning to this process carried out with children and young people. What have we done there? Since 2022, we have developed a project within lines of the Reconnecting with Culture program with the support and management of the Tejido Diagonal Architecture Office, seeking to apply SDG 4, 10 and 11 to create a childhood and youth with a quality and equity education, equal access to culture and sustainable communities. We have called this process the School of the World. The methodology for a participatory design began with the children's approach to the cultural heritage that exists in their community, in this case the Alto de la Florida neighborhood. There, we support the children to review the tradition, the knowledge, landscape, and pre-Hispanic elements found there. A vision that began with a look inside, a family, community, and territorial aspects. With an 8-month process, we accompanied the children in a workshop called Draw Your Heritage, where in addition to using drawing and arts as a learning tool, they were able to create a perspective from their creativity about the heritage of their community, analyzing and constructing a collective definition to respond to the question, what is heritage for children? The workshop and process was divided between 3 moments. The first one was an artistic exploration of cultural heritage, highlighting an important and intergenerational dialogue and tours of the neighborhood and neighboring rural and country areas, where highlighting the visit to the ancient pictograms made by the Muiscas. The second moment was the lot of creation of drawing that will be proposal to make a mural and an improvement of the meeting places of the great importance for the community, called the Wall. A vacant lot where the children play soccer and the community holds events, and it is in Norbert Schultz's term an existential space. With this proposal, the third stage could begin, which was the participatory design and the creation of the mural and the meeting spaces done with a sustainable architecture. To create the mural, an event was held to expose the children drawing to the community. There, people could select and give their opinion on which drawing represented the cultural values and exhibited the community as a territory. In the drawing, we were able to identify an appropriation for the natural landscape, the pre-Hispanic heritage, some places within the neighborhood, such as the House of Youth, just as the children identified people who were important and improved their community Altos de la Florida. Through this process, we were able to generate a proposal for the mural and its creation. A community work which a week's work, 7 days, was carried out with the community. The most important thing in the process was to create a sense of belonging for the mural in the community. Therefore, it was of great importance to the people participate in the entire process, from technical aspects to activities such as painting or selling food during the days. With the mural, the workshop process was replicated in other neighborhoods of Suacha, creating public spaces with sustainable architectural materials. This intervention sought to generate spaces for meeting, activity, and dialogue in favor of preserving the tradition and knowledge of the community and the cultural diversity in inhabitants, fulfilling the following goal of the SDG 4. By 2030, ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace, and no violence. The Tejido Architecture Office had the opportunity to win the call, the Lapis Project of Mexico, which they obtained the financial resources for the execution of an intervention proposal. Of course, the process began with a meeting with the community to understand the needs and the way of living in the neighborhood. There is a reflection about this process when they asked to the children how they dream a space, public space like a park, how the space should be, what kind of things take into account, and what was the most important thing for children in a park. They had similar answers where the importance for them goes beyond the physical spatial aspect. For them, the important thing was to be able to play with their friends, share time with their family, and be able to roam. Obviously, be able to love and to share with the community. The design and construction of this park, in addition, there was used an abandoned corner to build the Maloca Muisca. This corner was unsafe. There were injuries, rock addition, and it generates problems with the environment. The transformation for this space became a point of play and recreation for children, being an educational and cultural space. Its roof is built with gualba, a type of traditional bamboo in Colombia. There also were used recycled materials such as old wheels for the extraction. The name of Maloca refers to the meaning the spaces of the indigenous communities, where the chiefs sat and obtained spiritual and universal wisdom. In this way, the space makes a connection with the past of the territory, being one of the most important places for religious worship for the Muisca community. As final conclusion, we can say that the project has been developing with high community participation. These projects have improved the living condition of people in the neighborhood of Suacha, since participatory design has allowed community appropriation and value for the built spaces. The SDG represents the axis of the creation of these activities and results. Now the community has places for meeting and exchange knowledge. Activities were carried out to allow the children from complex violent backgrounds and with drug problems to approach a cultural and heritage perspective for life. Perhaps the greatest learning that this group of children had was understanding that their opinion, feelings, and vision has a value and the ability to change their world.
Thank you, Kevin. We will go back to our presentation, but stay a little bit online. So,
childhood phases. So, if this answers your question.
I think you refer to what a child or a teenager will keep in his mind after he goes to adulthood from a built environment course. That was your question, I guess. Further. Okay, well, further, I think...
yes. Mm. Well, shall I? This is, built environment education is not a discipline. It's not like mathematics or literature, then you, from one year to another year, you give special knowledge. This is a complex activity. And even if the same idea or the same project, well, we are not doing the same project in all different ages, but even if you do the same thing, you will take out different things because you yourself change. So, for example, as secondary school children, when dealing, for example, in the changing something in the courtyard, he or she would be more interested in identity question, where do I locate myself, while a little kid would be more interested in how I can create with my hands. So the different, well, we have different programs, but you grow up together with the programs. Also for adulthood, if we are speaking also about lifelong learning, first of all, there's a child in every person, and when you do participatory project, you realize how university students and even elderly people are happy to contribute and to work together, and in doing something together, you do a common language. And also, this is the third thing, that we hope that those who experience in their life once that the environment is not something happening to them, but the built environment is something where you can be active, that your voice counts, that you are making decisions, and your decision has an effect on community and also on the built environment. When you experience that, we think that you will stay an active citizen, an active actor in the built environment education, and this is with you all the time. And when you are adult, you can be an active user, you can be an active skateholder, or you can be an active designer. So there are different roles, but you bring with yourself this experience. Yasmin, it's a mindset. Yeah, the built environment education is a mindset.
Kevin, would you add something, or?
Thank you. I completely agree with all the things that you're saying. In our process, we can identify how the children get related with these kind of processes and how they participate and how they feel motivated to understand, for example, in our cases, the cultural heritage, participating for different activities where they can discover the different things that happen at the same time in their communities. As Christina was saying, it's not like a subject where you have like a specific knowledge to learn. It is a process where, depending on their interest, they find different things and they propose and create things, like Christina was saying. There are kids more interested in create things with hands, to use materials, use earth, use bamboo, Or there are others that prefer to just propose, to think, to route, to create a plan. So, yeah.
Actually, you gain a new skill to understand your environment, but your man-made environment.
Yeah, I don't want to take from the time of the people and questions, but maybe we can discuss it later and we share what we have.